Welcome back to the 13th annual MI Paracon right here in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. And folks, I told you it was going to happen. It's happening right now. We got the elusive Ronny Leblanc from Expedition Bigfoot. Dude, it's been what an amazing weekend.
It's
Right
been
here
awesome.
at 13th annual. I mean, how you feeling, dude? I mean,
I'm-
every time I walked by you today, you were swarmed by people. I mean, the excitement is building. I know that.
It's a little tired, but it's always fun. It's always great to hear from people and their stories, their encounters, and how much this convention means to people
Right.
to come and interact with the community. So it's been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like everybody is like you guys have been like upstairs. It's like you can't even fit into the room anymore. It's like a sardine can up there. But no, it's great. We're glad we finally got a chance to
Yeah.
snag you from everybody. I mean, I thought I was going to have to call some Bigfoot to drag you off out of here. But no, dude, brand new season, Expedition Bigfoot coming up this Wednesday.
Yeah, August 30th, 10 o'clock. And we moved up to Discovery Channel, which we're super stoked about because that just takes us to another level, internationally. It's going to be a good thing. So we're really excited.
Wow, and I mean, I met you at the UFO Contact Convention last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, I never knew anything about Expedition, about Bigfoot at all. And here Ronnie's like there, and I'm all geeking out. I'm like, that's Ronnie. That's from the show because I just started watching season 1, watched season 3, and here you are. And I mean, season 4 on the horizon. You guys must be really stoked because season 3 was absolutely amazing.
It was great.
The cloaking Bigfoot that you guys captured. I mean, that's got to be the most talked about footage that is out there because I know you posed the question out there was, what was your favorite part of the Expedition Bigfoot series?
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of the comments came back to that. Like,
it's a big thing because it showcases the fact that these things are essentially interdimensional. That's what I believe. They're not necessarily completely flesh and blood.
right.
But for us to capture that and for Dr. Maria to not have an explanation, it just opens up a whole other world of questions of what these things are and what their capabilities are. So,
Wow, that's amazing. So, please just walk us back to that moment. Like you guys were there, seeing this with your eyes, like your naked eyes. Like no, you didn't see it through equipment. And I watched the reaction. It's the second I saw it, but like I don't have hairs on my arms, but there was hair standing up from somewhere.
I mean, so essentially, we went back to Washington State, where we had some interesting stuff. We had a print, and we're in this area that we went back to. And as Dr. Maria and I are walking along this river, during the day, rocks would fall directly opposite of us. And in a particular location where there was this fish trap in the water, surrounded by rocks and sticks. And it seemed like when we were right on top of that is when we really got these rocks falling, like, stay away. So at night, as we were coming back to the camp, we went to explore up top where I thought I saw this figure and try to see where the rocks might be coming from. And at that point in time, a bunch of rocks started falling like an avalanche. It sounded like something fell. And we both turned with our flashlights, and there was nothing in front of us. And you look at the footage, people are like, "Oh, it's a blade of grass." It was not. We turned, and this thing, like a shadow puppet, walked in front of our flashlights. We couldn't see it, but our lights created that shadow on that rock wall.
Yeah.
What I saw with my eyes was hair on the shadow. Like you could see hair, and it moved like the Patterson game. And what was amazing, they edited out me talking to it. So prior to this showing itself, I said, "We know you're up there. Show yourself."
Right.
And it did.
Yeah.
So, and I wondered why they edited that out.
Right.
It's basically saying, these things can understand what we're saying. So are they more human, alien than they are animal?
Right. Now you've been a Bigfoot researcher for a very long time. You have an amazing book. I've read it, Monsterland, an amazing book. So if you don't have it, Amazon, get yourself a copy of the book, or just come on down and see this guy wherever he's at, because he is all over the place. Like I watch your Facebook feed, you're doing talks all over the place. Like you are one busy guy.
I've been trying to, take advantage of the time. I'm doing this library tour back in Massachusetts. We have about 440 libraries. So I booked about 50 of them this year and going into different communities. And it's been a blast doing that kind of stuff. I enjoyed that a lot.
So could you tell us like what became your fascination with Bigfoot? Like how did I know you talk about it in your book, but for people that are out there that don't know, it's like what was like how does I think I'll go research Bigfoot.
Right. I had a weird experience when I was younger where I was out in the forest by myself on my bike and something crashed through the woods to the left of me in front, and I expected to see it come onto the trail. And when nothing did and continued on the other side, it boggled my mind that I couldn't see what it was, but I could feel the reverberations through my feet, and it's moving trees and shrubs. And I pedaled home so fast, but I had no explanation what that was. So I think that was in the back of my mind subconsciously. And then I just was attracted to, as I go to the library and get books on animals and things like that, I walked by a book by Lauren Coleman called Mysterious Universe, and there's a Bigfoot on there, and then and I'm like, oh, what's this? And I was hooked. So that really, the library was one of these places that I could find this stuff and devour it. And that's kind of just put me on this path where I was like, I never expected or wanted to write a book,
right?
But I realized after a while, like, hey, I can do this. I've been reading a book a week on this kind of stuff, and so really try to take that to the next level for myself. It was a little scary because I was also kind of revealing things about myself and worried about how people are going to react. And are they going to make fun of me and this and that? So I sat on it for a little while before I even released it because of that, worried about what they might think about my kids. My kids are going to get, messed with and this kind of stuff. So, but once I did it, and what really pushed me to do it is when my sister passed away from cancer years before, it really put life into perspective and like, okay, what are you leaving behind? What's your legacy? What are you contributing to your time here? So that's what really, I think, pushed me even more to do this stuff.
And that's so amazing. Yeah, and I mean, a lot of us in the paranormal field, under the paranormal umbrella, I think when we first get ready to come out of our shell and say, hey, this is my experiences, we do worry about what the community thinks about us. But now that we're in it, I think a lot of us, like, we're at events like this where, you know what, you telling Bigfoot stories or a ghost story or an alien story, we don't look at you any differently. We're thinking, that's absolutely cool. And
I've had a similar encounter.
Yeah. And it gives people who are afraid to come out a place to come and talk. Like, I'm sure you get it a lot. Like, wherever you go and travel, people recognize you from Expedition Bigfoot and then go, hey, you know what? Can I talk to you for a second? I saw this. And this is what. So now the big thing nowadays seems the big alien Bigfoot connection.
Yes.
People are saying, oh, I see orbs in the sky, or I see a UFO, and right afterwards is like usually a Bigfoot encounter. Somebody will report that. What is your take on that, and where do you stand with the whole crossover?
I definitely believe there's a connection. My book goes into this concept that these orbs are connected to Bigfoot. Some researchers believe that it could even be Bigfoot.
Right.
But there is definitely a correlation, a connection to all this stuff. They all seem to be coming from the same areas. So the idea of, could these things be interdimensional? We're talking about portals and this kind of stuff. It seems to make a lot of sense when I'm talking to people as well, that they seem to kind of grasp that concept. They're like, okay, that's why we don't have bones. That's why we don't have bodies. Why all the photos are blurry.
Yeah, and that's the thing to me. And I watched your talk earlier today. It was an amazing talk. And I mean, you never do see a clear photo of Bigfoot. It's always blurry, or they're so far away, and they're still blurry. So the vibration that I would say that the Bigfoot does give off is causing our equipment to malfunction because, I mean, trail cams, like you guys use a lot of trail cams on Expedition Bigfoot. So, I mean, like clear shots of a deer, but all of a sudden you get this blurry hand going through the camera, and you're like, oh, what the hell is that?
Yeah, and there's
But-
there's a lot of trail cams too of images, and there's nothing there. Like something triggered it off, whether that's wind or what have you.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting that the people are trying to capture stuff on these things, and there's some good captures. I think more and more people are trying to see what they can capture, what they can contribute.
Right. So let's get back to Expedition Bigfoot. Season 4 is about to come out. Now, season 1, you weren't there
Yeah,
in the
was
very
it-
first episode.
Right? Yeah, I came in like episode 3.
Yeah. So talk about like how did that come about? Like how did you get put on this? Like one of the biggest Bigfoot shows that are out there right now. I mean,
Yeah.
compared to like there's a lot out there, but Expedition Bigfoot seems to be on that big plateau.
Yeah. So RPG Ryan Golubeski was an original member of the team, and within the first 2 days of them starting the expedition, he was dealing with what he felt was like infrasound or the effects of that because he was dizzy, he was sick, and they wouldn't clear him medically to continue being a part of the expedition. So they were like, okay, we need to find someone right now. Production's on hold. And I got a phone call from my podcast partner at the time, Maddie Blake from Curse of Oak Island. He's connected to one of the producers. Bob Gimlin dropped my name. And so suddenly I get this phone call of, hey, we'd like to talk to you about participating in this. And I had to make a decision within 24, 48 hours.
Yeah.
And then I was on a plane to Oregon, didn't know anybody that was on the team, didn't know where the hell I was going. Just started a new job, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to lose this job. I'm going to be gone for a month.
Yeah.
And luckily, my wife was like, you got to do this. Who gets a phone call to do a show about big? Like, and the crazy thing is, a week prior to that, I mentioned to my wife that I was going to be done. Like, I'm going to take a break, and this has been more of an obsession. It's kind of caused issues, whatever. And I got that call, and she was like, that's the universe. Like, you're supposed to do this. So, yeah, and then the rest is history, as they say.
So that must be cool for you. Kids go to school and say, hey, my daddy goes looking for Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah. It's fun. Like, you know, a lot of my kids are super supportive, and they've had their own experiences and stuff as well.
Yeah.
But they are, their friends are kind of stoked. They're like, oh, my God. But they know, too, that I'm just a regular dude. It's like I'm just part of this amazing opportunity and riding it as long as I can.
You know what? And that's it. I mean, you are such a nice guy. I mean, I don't know if you want that reputation up there. We'll bleep that one out. No, from the moment we met you, I mean, you've been really super nice to us. You've been like talking to us for a while. Like I said, you are so genuine.
Thanks, man.
And that's the thing is, like, you are so humbled by what you've been gifted. And to follow your passion and to be like doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a story that, you know what, people, if you have a passion, don't give up on it.
Exactly.
You know, you'll figure it out. And like you said, you were ready to throw in the white towel and go, okay, let's just work 9 to 5 and be happy with what I'm doing.
And, you know, that's a great point is, you know, for me, it was also for my kids to show them, one, I'm trying to, you know, find your passion, find your path, your purpose, and kind of go full bore with it. But trying to show them too, like, you know, don't give up on things, which I was about to.
Right.
And then, you know, if you follow your path and you work hard, things will fall into place. If it's meant to be, doors will open. And that's definitely been the case with this situation.
Wow. You know, so like I said, so I know season 4 is coming out. You can't really divulge a lot about that because we want the fans to watch anyways. They're going to watch because like this has been a while. We've been waiting for season 4 to come out. Excited, but you guys are in Alaska this year.
Yep.
So that's exciting in itself because I mean every year. So tell me, I know this is probably gonna be hard. What is your favorite moment from Expedition Bigfoot?
Definitely the shadow, the cloaking was amazing. Discovering the nest was pretty awesome. And then also, you know, we had Chris Duncan on season 2, who helped us with a piece of technology to help kind of identify different signatures, electromagnetic frequency signatures, and I also found out that he was into remote viewing, and he got trained by these guys with the CIA. And I became friends with him from after doing the show, and then reached out to him and said, "Hey, if I can incorporate your remote viewing skills in the show to help us out, would you be interested?" He's like, "Absolutely." So pitched it to the producers, and they incorporated it. Like, let's try it, and that was pretty amazing because it was the first time that I'm aware of that remote viewing was used to look for Bigfoot.
You know what? And maybe that's how we're going to capture them, because they cloak themselves to hide from us. So why not use remote viewing to kind of sneak in on them at the same time?
Right.
So I mean that makes smart strategy right there.
And it led us to those nests.
Yeah.
His what he was seeing in the fence and these different markers that we're looking for. It brought us to that place, which was pretty incredible.
So I got to ask this question because, I mean, I like you on the show, but Russell, like, oh my God, that guy is like so brave out there in the middle of the woods by himself. Like, I think it was season 3 where his cameraman fell and broke his leg or something.
Yeah.
They would go, but I mean, Russell is like, I mean, I'd be afraid to see Russell in the woods. I'd be like running faster than Bigfoot. Like, I don't know if Bigfoot wants to meet Russell.
Yeah, no, probably not.
But what's it like working with those guys? Like,
he's amazing. He's got a heart of gold. He's a great dude, and we just all click. We all know, hey, this is our lanes. This is what we believe, and let's work together to try to figure this out.
Right.
And Dr. Maria too. She's great to work with. I learn stuff all the time, and I know she does too from all of us, because this is the first time she's actually been doing this kind of stuff, looking for something like this, but experiencing all the strange stuff that comes with it too.
Yeah, because her background is more primary research, like, and I mean, I guess a lot of, Bigfoot characteristics, like size wise and
kind of
habits.
falls in that primate category.
But I mean, and I guess that's the big dynamic of the show. Here you got this big military guy, Russell, and you got this doctor who researches animals, and then there's Ronny, the Bigfoot expert, that walks in.
And paranormal stuff. And,
But so I mean, the chemistry works so well together.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think that's a big part of the huge success of the show.
I agree. Yeah.
Because chemistry is everything. Like longevity, if anything, like it goes back to even rock bands.
Right.
As long as all the members in the group are getting along, the band's a success.
Yeah, they'll make music together, right?
So, I look forward to everything. So before we let you go, because I know you probably got a whole table of people waiting for you up there, we want to say, first of all, we appreciate you taking your time to come and talk to us here on the Paranormal Voice. We're glad. We look forward to season 4 of Expedition Bigfoot. But please tell us where people can find you.
Sure.
What events are you going to be at next? How can they reach out to you if they say, hey, maybe I've had a Bigfoot experience? And
sure. So I have my website, RonnyLeblanc.com. You can send me a message there. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You see the blue check mark. But you can see me. I'm going to be in the Exeter UFO Festival next weekend in New Hampshire. And then the following week, going to be in Utah for Phenomicon with Russ and Maria and Zach. And then we're going to be, Maria and I are going to be going to Smoky Mountain Terror in Tennessee that weekend as well. So it's a busy month already.
And I imagine it's only going to get busier for you guys. Like once season 4 hits the air, everybody's going to want to talk about season 4. So we're glad we got you before all the chaos started. Like I said, Ronny, it's been a pleasure knowing you, and I look forward to seeing Expedition Bigfoot 4, 5, 6. I hope 13, really.
That would be pretty impressive.
Hopefully by number 13, they'll say, hey, here's Bigfoot.
Exactly.
There he is, folks.
He's hanging with us now.
Show's ended. Let's go home. Bigfoot's now our friend. But no, thank you once again. So TPV Nation, if you get a chance to catch Ronny live, listen to his talks. It's very informative. But all else, like get out there, get his book, because you will absolutely love it. It's a really good book. I hope you write another one.
I'm working on it. Yes.
So Ronny, thank you again.
Thanks,
TPV Nation, stay tuned. Expedition Bigfoot season 4 comes out this Wednesday, August 30th on Discovery, and for us Canadians on Discovery Plus. So we look forward to checking it out. And in the meantime and between time, like we like to say, is happy hauntings.
See you guys.